It's London Fashion Week and we are right in the heart of the action at Antonio Berardi's studio. Berardi is one of the most talented designers working in fashion today and has been a key player in the London fashion scene since starting out 20 years ago as an assistant to Galliano. His clothes combine devastatingly sexy Italian tailoring with a real British creativity and forward-thinking attitude. We're here to talk to Antonio and to Sofia Neofitu, his creative director, about what they've still got to do in the next 48 hours. So tell me where this collection began. What was the jumping off point for you?
I'd seen a really weird article about the Boston Tea Party in Italian Vogue, of all places, and I loved the colours. And it was a really super rococo and kind of gorgeous teals and pale greens and all this kind of thing. And I loved the kind of, the white kind of cornicing and everything that was everywhere. And it was they were the kind of colours I would never use. So I thought, maybe this is a good thing. And from there, I started to look at an artist called Rachel Kneebone, who does all these amazing kind of sculptures in white, and it reminded me then of a Sicilian sculptor called Serpotta, who was very famous. He did all these amazing churches in Palermo, so it's that was very close to my heart. And I look at all these things, and then we basically take away everything because I don't want anything ever to be that referential. Sometimes I start with very, very plain fabrics. I like things which are kind of luxurious, and I like things which are woven in a particular way. So to me, that's the most important thing. And I like embellishment, and each season I try and give a new form of embellishment.
What sort of woman do you think wears your clothes?
I think the kind of woman that wears my clothes is really the kind of woman that literally doesn't buy one on a whim and thinks, it's a trend, I need to buy it. I think she buys it because she falls in love with it, and that's how I buy clothes.
And these images here are hair and makeup references?
Yeah, hair and makeup references. So for me this season, I'm having a bit of a fixation on Angie Bowie and the whole androgyny of her, and how, there is a beauty in a more handsome woman rather than a predictably pretty one. I mean, then I've got her as well, because we will have girls with longer hair, so I'd like to have this sort of more fluid idea along with this. So because the clothes are quite feminine, so it's just a way of sort of readdressing the balance so it doesn't become too predictable in a way.
And I can hear a fantastic mix of Italian and English being spoken over there today,
Yeah, there's a lot of Italian going on, because obviously it's for most of them, for us to communicate, then it's easier in Italian.
And how does that, because that's a part of your work, is a kind of Italian and English mix of influences. How do you think how does that pan out in this collection?
I think what's interesting with the way I work is that it's my aesthetic is very British, simply because I was born here and I was brought up here and whatever else. But I do have that kind of Italian sensibility where I want things to be perfect. It's silk and linen. And then basically what's interesting is that it looks quite crude, but on the inside it's boucle, because you look at it and it looks like a very summery fabric when in actual fact it's a wintry fabric. And then going back to all that kind of Rachel Kneebone and rococo and whatever else, we wanted things to look three-dimensional. And what was interesting about this is that these things they're embroidered on top of each other in certain ways. In other ways, we had them melted and folded so that they produced a different texture. This was obviously in the same kind of vein, but what we did was we tried to make them swirl around the body. But I love the idea that it felt chalky. And I love the idea that from last season where it was completely high shine, that this season we've taken it down a notch.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is double face cashmere. This is a different wool, which is it has rubber in it as well, so it has a different texture. And then this is pony skin, which has been embossed.
So it looks almost like crocodile.
So it's like a crocodile, and then here it was embossed to look like astrakhan. So it was more the idea of the textures playing together.
Yeah, the venue this season is Senate House, so you've got this opulent sort of environment. If you look at what we've done as well, we've chosen quite really graphic shapes, and it's edited so it appears in very colour block segment, so you get this really bold statement that's repeated. We just try and keep it as modern as possible.
And how do you find show day itself? It always seems like such an incredibly intense experience for designers. Do you wake up sort of
No,
like exam day?
yeah, it is. It's like exam day, but I think the 2 days or 3 days leading up to the show are the same. You know, and it is that kind of, you know, eternal thing of, here's my baby. Will people think it's, you know, beautiful, or will people kind of like smile at it and then say it's a really ugly baby?